good, whatever time of the day it is you're listening to us. This is the P&A Podcast Express. He's Adam Filkins. I'm Phil Nickel. This is episode D1126MM20.
Or for the layperson, 9878.
9878. Very good.
No, 9879.
9879.
Sorry.
9879.
9879.
Very good.
And it is the Turkey Day edition.
You're welcome. A little something we're doing for our listeners. This is out of sorts. We normally release them on Tuesdays, but we decided we're going to have a Thanksgiving edition. And you know what bothers me? Here's the polarizing thing I want to talk about. This is the thing on everyone's mind this Thanksgiving. Green bean casserole. For or against?
Well, I'm pretty for it. If it's got the French onion on top of it, the onion.
See, that's what I was going to talk about here. So here's how I feel about it. So green beans, as far as vegetables go, green beans, I think they're a Cadillac vegetable. I think they're really good. I love green beans. On their own merits.
Cooked or raw.
Right. On their own merits, green beans are fantastic. Of course, milk, good. These are all the ingredients to green bean casserole. Salt, pepper, always good.
Never put milk in mine.
Cream of mushroom soup. I'm just going, some people do. Yeah. Cream of mushroom soup, it's a staple on its own. Don't ever eat it on its own. I think you're a psychopath if you probably eat it on its own. Some people probably do.
Shameless plug, I do have mushroom soup.
Okay.
With portobello mushrooms from the downtown deli.
That's different. We're not talking about Campbell's condensed cream of mushroom soup with the little chunks of gelatinous
whatever
shit.
It is.
So that's one of the ingredients. I can get behind it. I don't mind cream of mushroom soup. Very good in various dishes. And then, of course, soy sauce. A lot of people put a little bit of soy sauce in there. Some do. And the onions. The French's fried onions. They're crispy. They're beautiful. They're wonderful. Probably one of my favorite things to just grab copious handfuls of and eat, right? So you throw all this shit together in a green bean casserole, and it comes out as this horrible thing. Like, I would rather lick a 9-volt battery over and over again than eat green bean casserole. So here's a case of the sum of the parts being much greater than the whole.
And see, I really like green bean casserole.
I cannot stand it.
Really?
But yet, all the ingredients on their own, by their own merits, enjoy them. But you put them all together, and they are subdued to some, I don't know, big change chemically in the oven with heat being applied, and it just turns into this terrible mush.
Just a thought that maybe it's because you fuck it up with milk.
It could be.
I've never put milk in mine before.
So I've had it both ways, though. I've had it without milk, and still the same. I mean, I see my cat licking its butthole, and I think that's probably better than this green bean casserole.
Wow, you are harsh on the green bean casserole.
I told you, man, this is going to be a harsh one. This is what I've been thinking about all day.
Wow. Well, I mean,
I'm glad you like it though, because I need to bounce. We need the yin and the yang. So tell me what you enjoy about it. What is your take?
Of course, the onions, the mushrooms, with the green beans is fantastic.
Yes.
So I mean, there's a lot of goodness there. Maybe it's because in my mind, I break it down. I deconstruct as I eat it.
So maybe you take the parts apart also. So the sum of the parts, once again. So you deconstruct it. Okay, go on. I like this line.
So I deconstruct it. I appreciate the individual components as a whole, but I don't just think of it as a gelatinous bean mixture.
Yeah. I've never gotten behind it, and I try it. Look, to be fair, because I tell my kids the same thing. If you don't like something, at least try it once in a while because your taste can change.
Right.
But yet, they never have. And every year I try it, and every year I search for a 9-volt battery to stick my tongue on after I try it. I'm just like, this is terrible.
Well, maybe try the 9-volt battery beforehand.
That's actually a pro tip, I feel like.
Yeah.
So if someone's cooking isn't worth a shit and they invite you over, maybe take a 9-volt battery in your pocket.
Jumpstart your taste buds.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Or numb them, one of the two.
Yeah, I mean, enough applications. I don't know if a 9-volt battery has enough to it.
Juice.
You might want to buy the 2-pack.
Yeah.
Duracells.
Yeah.
Don't get the Rayovac cheap ones, the blue and silver.
Maybe double team them, maybe two at once.
Oh, 18 volts.
Go for the threesome. How would that feel?
Ooh. Then you're talking 27 volts. You might be looking at, actually creating heart palpitations. And so, again, we have to put the disclaimer in
So
here.
don't try this. Yeah, please, folks, do not. One 9-volt battery, fine.
If you try it, have another pack of 9-volt batteries that you can restart yourself with.
Right. So, yes, make sure that you always have something there to defib yourself in case you AFib yourself.
Yes.
It's a good point.
Is that like checking yourself before you wreck yourself?
I think it really is.
I think that's the very rural equivalent of that.
I think so. But anyway, I feel very strong about this. I've never understood the bullshit that is green bean casserole. People always talk about it. My mother sent me the menu because we're being responsible. We're not doing in-person Thanksgiving this year. But she still will make food because my mother's a saint. And if anybody wants to argue, I will beat them down.
Well, after last week's episode, I think we can all agree.
I mean, she did find me laying in the bathtub with my dick in my hand, unconscious. But yeah, so she's making all this food, and she had this huge menu. And one of the menu things was green bean casserole. And I said, if you bring green bean casserole to my house, I don't know if I'll ever talk to you again. And my mother said, that's a little harsh. And I'm like, that's how strongly I feel about green bean casserole.
I mean, I can understand feeling strongly about it. It would be one of those things that I think is you either have a love or hate relationship with it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like cranberries.
I love cranberries.
Oh,
absolutely love cranberries.
I found I like both, like the cranberry
gelatinous
sauce,
one or the ones with whole cranberries in it?
Either
Oh, yeah.
one.
Same. Absolute same. I'm behind you 100% on that. But the other thing is then she wanted to, my mother pulled this power play where she's like, well, what kind of pie do you want? And I'm like, what are the options? She's like, pumpkin or pecan. I'm like, I have to make a choice here. Can't you just bring me both? And my mother's like, well, pick one. I'm like, can I have both? But apparently that's not how things work this day and age. So you can't have your pie and eat it too.
It's an odd year. Well, you can. You just can't have both your pie.
So I selected pecan. I do love pumpkin pie. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But given, like, pecan is like the Rolls Royce of pies, I feel like. Where pumpkin is more like a...
more like a pumpkin chariot.
Maybe like a Buick. Just always there, dependable. You know what you're going to get. You've got to cover it up with some heavy whipping cream or whipped cream of some sort.
Yeah.
And it needs a little bit of help. However, pecan on its own merits just stands alone.
I used to like pumpkin pie better before everything was pumpkin flavored.
Yeah, pumpkin spice.
Now it's like by the time I get to the pie on Thanksgiving, it's like kind of saturated.
Is there anything more basic white bitch than pumpkin spice?
Yeah, I mean I don't want to drag Eddie into this, but really pumpkin pie is as oversaturated as
Eddie Fury.
Yeah.
I feel like Eddie Fury loves pumpkin spice too. If left to his own volition, he would pick pumpkin spice.
He would definitely stop at, random gas station.
Yeah.
And grab that cup with both of his hands covered in his isotoners.
Yeah.
And drink the pumpkin pie.
I could see that.
Cappuccino.
What about stuffing? How do you feel about stuffing? Here's how I feel about stuffing. If you fuck it up, obviously I love the stuffing that goes in the bird. It's got to have the good flavor, the spices, the sage, but it has to have consistency. It can't just be this pile of mush. Sometimes you get that.
It also can't be that dry where you can't pick it up on your fork.
So I would rather, and I know it's an unpopular opinion, I would rather have stovetop sometimes than some of the shit that people pass for stuffing to me.
Yeah, but I make my stovetop a little more moist than what it comes. A lot of people really stir it up to fluff it up really good. I don't want the fluffy stovetop. I want chunks that I can actually grab with my fork. And, so that's the way I prefer. I like stovetop. I mean,
we grew up on it.
Yeah, but my mom would never make stovetop.
Really?
She wouldn't make stovetop.
See, my mother never did either. She's a very from scratch person. So two things we never got growing up, and I went hog wild with it at college, was stovetop and hamburger helper.
Oh, dear God. Hamburger helper.
It's just like this salt wonderfulness.
Yeah. It's every college kid, if they're lucky enough. That was one of the things I was disappointed about, like where my oldest goes to school. They can't have like a hot plate or anything in their room. They do have a kitchen they can go cook in, but they never do.
Yeah.
But it's like, how are you making your hamburger helper? And he's like, you don't make hamburger helper.
You're like, are you even in college, bro?
Yeah. How do you, what do you eat?
Yeah. I mean, ramen noodles. I mean, they're not even ramen noodles. Anyway, so stuffing. I'm glad we kind of agree on that one. Stuffing can make or break the meal, I feel like.
Oh, it definitely can. And I don't like it with all the giblets and stuff in it.
Oh, okay.
That's
fair.
I'm not a fan of that.
Right.
So I've never been one for organ meat.
it's either a thing you really enjoy or don't. I feel like there's really not a lot of in between. It's kind of like sardines. You either like sardines or you don't. Which, by the way, I would probably rather eat a can of sardines that's baked in the sun in the summer than eat green bean casserole. Probably.
Dang,
yeah.
Man, you are harsh on green bean casserole.
I mean, send the hate mail. Send the hate mail, please.
We're going to get emails to pnaexpresspodcast@gmail.com.
Please, yes. Get all your vitriol that you want against me for this one. I feel strongly about it. I've been thinking about this all day, and I know that we don't normally we kind of pre-think our things a little bit, but this has been wearing on me all day. Like, I had a hard time performing my duties as an engineer today because I was thinking about how much I dislike green bean casserole.
Wow, you wouldn't think that it would be a disruptive force in your life, but yet here we are.
Well, I'm kind of an obscure person, and yes, certain things just get me off kilter. And I know that so many people love it. They talk about, gonna get that green bean casserole. I'm like,
yeah. I mean, it's not the star of the show for me.
No,
I mean the star of the show is obviously, the
turkey. Yeah, there you go. So here's what I always say: like vegetarians, like, what do you plan your meals around? Because you always plan it around the protein, the meat. It's kind of like people that don't have a freaking television. What is all your furniture pointed at?
Yeah. You pointed at each other where you have to converse with
God,
people.
that sounds awful.
Yeah. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Just stare at the back of somebody else's phone?
Right. It's unbelievable. Well, I don't have a television. And you know what? It's kind of like that, too. If someone doesn't have a television, you don't have to ask them. Just wait a couple minutes, and they'll tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't have a television. I don't give a shit.
We have a TV. All we watch is DVDs. We've got the box set of Little House on the Prairie. And then we've got the Little House on the Prairie Christmas special on DVD.
And we've got the History Channel series on World War II.
I've got every Ancient Aliens on my DVR.
Aliens. That's right. Anyway.
I'm not saying it's aliens,
but it's aliens. I love that. Not saying it's aliens, but aliens. So Thanksgiving, here we are. Probably my favorite, bar none, my favorite holiday. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday.
Yeah, no pressure of buying anything for anybody.
But it's just food and football, and how can the Lions disappoint us again? Yeah. Every year. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and you get to generally share that with your family. A lot of people go without that, but know that we're all suffering watching the Lions. So even if, if you happen to be alone this Thanksgiving because of COVID or whatever, and we normally don't go into these type of things, but if you happen to be alone,
there's one dependable thing. One dependable thing.
We are all suffering through whatever it is the Lions are going to do.
And I know you're listening to us from throughout the entire world. On each side, it's flat. We talked about that last podcast. On either side of the world, people know how terrible the Lions are. So even if you're fans of another NFL team, then God bless you, and you're lucky. You're one of the lucky ones because that's just it. I mean, the Lions have found a way to rip my heart out through my asshole almost every single season I've been a fan. Every year I've been alive.
Well, when I was abducted by aliens, going back to last podcast, when they went to probe me, they're like, "Oh, you're a Lions fan. There's nothing.
It's not even worth
it. Hollow.
It's not even." When I lived in Philadelphia, those people are the most standoffish, sports-wise people you'll ever meet in the world, and they would ask me, "You a Dallas fan? No. You a Washington fan? No. You a Redskins fan? Well, sorry, Washington football team fan? No. I'm a Lions fan. I'm non-threatening. Okay.
Yeah." Went to Buffalo one time to watch Barry Sanders play.
Yeah.
Kind of used to travel around a little bit and watch him. We went to Buffalo one time, and we bought what were tickets from a season ticket holder. So great seats. We're in box seats. We got great people all around us, and we show up in our Lions shirts, and the first thing that gets said to us is, "Why do you people watch these games where they let Scott Mitchell touch the ball?" Just direct snap to Barry and let him go. And then he went off for 209 yards in that game.
Yes.
And we kind of, by the time we left, we're like, why do we let Scott Mitchell touch the ball?
That, he signed that big contract with them. He was supposed to be one of the many saviors of the Lions football team. And with Barry Sanders, we need to change the subject.
Oh, we could go on that forever.
I'm getting very upset over here.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to start talking about our current quarterback situation, and we don't need that.
This is not a sports podcast. It is not a sports podcast.
It will turn very dark and angry if we keep going down this path.
And we're trying to be humorous, topical. This is supposed to be fun.
Yeah. This is supposed to be a good time. And, so far we've talked about being alone on Thanksgiving and suffering through the lions. So we apologize for whatever it is we did for a couple minutes there.
Yeah. Shifting gears. I mean, mashed potatoes sound really good right now.
Yeah.
Is there ever a time that mashed potatoes and gravy doesn't sound good?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's...
Why isn't that a staple at more places where you can actually get food, like mashed potatoes and gravy? Like, why doesn't any fast food establishment sell? I mean, KFC does, but...
Yeah.
But really think about it. I mean, it's hard to mess up mashed potatoes and gravy. Why would not more fast food places serve that?
Yeah, you would think they would, or at least like a poutine type of a...
I love poutine. Our friends to the north have it all set up, man.
There is a place in Brown City.
Oh, tell me more.
Poutine, and it is phenomenal.
It's good poutine.
Oh, it's really
good. I found a place down in Mount Clemens. It's an Irish pub that their poutine is just absolutely...
No, they serve you a big old trough of it.
Oh.
And...
See, that's how I want my food described, especially fatty foods like poutine, trough. I want it to come in a trough because I'm not getting out of there with my dignity, I promise you.
No, you can't go there and buy like the poutine and a burger and possibly finish it all.
I like the way this sounds. Challenge accepted.
Yeah, we might have to switch venues.
I'd love that. Back when, today we're at our normal venue, but it's there's a few people, but it's closed down.
It's subdued.
These are people waiting for their to-go orders, like they should be.
There's been a steady flow in and out, which is kind of nice to see.
And we're in the back corner.
Yeah.
We have all our protective measures. We have copious amounts of alcoholic things here to make sure that we are germ-free.
Yes, there's drinkable hand sanitizer and...
From within.
The Michigan Lottery thing is plexiglass between us.
So. Yeah, there you go. That's fantastic. What else do we talk about for Thanksgiving? The big part about Thanksgiving that I look forward to every year is the part that is, of course, we're all dealing with this year of family togetherness. And we're all surviving through this, but, one of the people I've talked to is like, well, I can't wait till things go back to how they were before. And I said, I don't think things are never going to be how they were before.
Not totally.
Yeah.
Not totally. And some of that might even be for the better.
I
love appointments at the Secretary of State.
Oh, they're beautiful.
I'll be the first to say it.
You're in and out like sauerkraut now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're in there for like 2 minutes. The people in there are happier.
Yeah.
I haven't had to take a number in there, and I've had to go in a few times, and at first I was like, oh, what a pain in the ass.
Holy shit, this is going to be a clusterfuck.
Okay, they need to do this forever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They could set up by appointment only all the time, and I think that would be a good thing to do, especially in a rural area like we have here. So, yeah, why not? It's a good change. Those are good. And I think we're discovering things about ourselves as far as what we can do, what works, what doesn't work. And we'll make it through this. I mean...
Oh, we don't really have a choice.
You're kind of right. You're right.
So,
at this point, I think we all have Stockholm Syndrome, though.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of fatigue as far as, tired of stuff being canceled. I want to go to a live event.
Yeah.
I just
concerts. I never knew how much I missed sporting events and concerts.
I want to go to a concert. I want to go to a sporting event. I want to go to a high school play. I don't give a shit at this point.
Right. It could be the worst. It could be the worst Fiddler on the Roof version you've ever seen in your life, and you'd still watch it.
Yeah.
Just because it's live action.
I would go watch Cats starring dogs at this point.
That is awesome. If no one has done that yet, you heard it here first on the P&A Podcast Express.
I'm
Adam Filkins today.
I'm a visionary.
Yeah.
Yeah. But cats starring dogs.
At one time, I used to work at a place that did a lot of military work, and they asked me my opinion about what we should do next, and I said we should weaponize cats. They never asked me my opinion again.
Well, probably because I believe it's already been done.
Weaponizing cats. I know dogs have been done, but the problem is cats are hard to train. But weaponizing cats, I think, is the next logical move.
My cats are assholes.
All cats are assholes.
Seriously, my wife has this little, it looks like a miniature pallet, and it says the Filkins on it. It's on a little table, real nice. I literally watched the cat go up and just knock it off of there. And you hear all the time about, cats will knock stuff off tables. It was the first time that I had witnessed, malicious, and then it just looked right at me.
Yeah, it's like, what you going to do now?
Yeah, what you going to do about it? You come over here, I'll knock you off, too.
That's right.
And then what? Another cat, I don't know why we have multiple, because I don't like them. I do like them. But I don't at the same time.
I don't.
Another one tried to knock over one of my guitars.
Ooh, ow. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's his dirty play right there.
Yeah.
You don't mess with a man's guitars.
No.
Not at all.
I was not very happy about that.
See, the thing about all felines, any feline, whether it be from the smallest, the domestic house cat, on up to the king of the jungle, they only have one thing in mind when it comes to humans, and that's to see them die.
Yeah.
Cats want us dead.
Yeah.
Cats always want us dead. And I've tried to explain that to somebody, that's kind of right. Cats do want us dead.
They do. They live their life out in an attempt to commit kitty homicide.
Right.
Through methods where you still kind of go, well, they're still kind of cute.
They really have a weird way of going about it. Because you know what they're trying to do. You know the conditioning they're trying to put the humans through, but yet we allow it. And, it's one of those things when I go to bed at night, I close my bedroom door because I'm afraid if I die in my sleep, the cat will eat me.
Oh, they will.
Yeah.
I heard that happen to Lane Staley.
Really?
From Alice in Chains when he died. Jerry Cantrell took the cat because it had eaten part of Lane.
That's morbid as shit, but I like it.
But it is if nothing else, through this whole podcast, you could say, man, I learned something.
That's right.
I learned something special about a dead guy's cat.
Lane Staley, his face was probably eaten off by a cat after he passed away.
Yeah.
Of course, after Lane Staley was in such a frail state anyway, that there probably wasn't much meat on his bones.
Yeah, he was only 70 pounds when he died.
Through all the heroin use and, yeah.
But, so the cat was still hungry.
Right.
But at least it got to eat.
So kids don't do heroin.
Yeah. I mean, at least not around cats.
No, not around cats.
Not if you want an open casket.
That's true. That's a great point.
Yeah.
I mean, heroin is just one of those things that it just seems like, it seems like it's a hell of a ride. I've personally never tried it. But,
no, me either. And don't you have to sit there and go, how did a person get to the point where they go, yeah, heroin sounds like a really good idea right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I know lots of people do it, and I feel bad for those people because I think that they've had to hit a spot in their life that I hope to never achieve. But you also kind of have to sit there at the same time and go, wow, heroin?
Chasing that dragon must be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't totally understand how they get to that point, but they do, and, hopefully they get the Narcan and everything else that they...
Hey, if you're addicted to heroin, send us an email. We'd love to pick your brain.
Yeah.
No, don't do that. Just get some help.
Then
quit the heroin.
Email.
Yes. And then we'll pick your brain about it. Get clean, and then we'll pick your brain. So if you have been a former heroin addict and have gotten yourself clean and good for you, awesome, give us a call.
Yeah. And even if you don't consider yourself a former addict, you consider yourself a recovering addict.
Recovering. Yes.
You can still give us an email.
It's always recovering. Thank you, because that's the correct term. Yes, you're always recovering.
You should know that we will probably try and make light of it and make fun of it in some aspect.
And we will ask you if you know Lane Staley.
Yeah. And his cat.
Yeah. Of course. Anyway, back to Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving, since we've talked about heroin and Lane Staley and cats and Jerry Cantrell, which are 5 things I really love, besides heroin. So, interestingly enough, the Lions actually started the tradition of having the Thanksgiving games on the Thursday of Thanksgiving. And everybody knows that they're such a terrible product that they want to take it. The NFL has actually wanted to take it away from them before. And I think that's just the sad state of everything.
They're playing the Titans, correct?
I think so.
So it's kind of one of those things where the NFL is just like, yeah, phone this one in. It doesn't matter. Have them play the Titans. It used to be Lions and Cowboys or,
Lions and Bears.
It was always
Lions and Packers.
Classic, man.
Yeah.
What are the old Oilers doing today? Let's bring them out and have the Lions play them.
We were on the radio. I was doing some live score reads, and I said, instead of Houston Texans, I said the Houston Oilers. Somebody looked at me like, what the Sorry, the Texans.
Well, and, it really has lost its luster since John Madden isn't giving out turkey legs and all that kind of, Troy Aikman doing it. You need that guy out there stumbling through. And, so Barry Sanders will give you the turkey leg. And, we don't have that anymore.
John Madden just became a cartoon of himself, I believe. And it's awesome. It's definitely awesome how he became just a character of himself. John Madden. And circling things, making, drawing penises on the teleprompter to circle things and stuff like that.
How sad is Frank Caliendo that he's gone?
I know.
Hey, can't you hear that with Fox Sports? They call up Frank Caliendo. Hey, who else can you do? Pat Summerall. All right, we'll get back with you, Frank.
Well, Frank, we'll give you a call. We'll be in touch, Frank.
All right, I'll just be over here in the trailer park. Didn't manage my money very well, and now I can't imitate anybody else. So, because you just don't see him anymore. He was everywhere.
No, if you do imitations, I know that it's a craft that you hone, because I myself do some, mainly of coworkers that are annoying, and people love it.
Yeah.
It always gets a good laugh. Just follow people's mannerisms, their vocal patterns. You can do it. Anybody can do it out there. But if you're doing famous people, once you nail one, you think you want to try to get many, many more. Like any impressionist I've ever seen, that's the key. You've got to have at least 3 to 10 in your wheelhouse, I feel like. You can't just be a one-trick pony and do like, I do a John Madden impression. Well, you and 5 million other people. So what's the difference?
One of the only people that I know that I haven't heard him do a lot of impressions, but Jay Moore does a phenomenal Christopher Walken.
I love Christopher Walken impressions.
Jay Moore, you don't hear him do a ton of impressions, but when he does Christopher Walken, it's like, it just kind of transports you to a place where Christopher Walken would be.
Right.
And I don't know exactly where that is.
Christopher Walken doesn't even know where he is most of the time.
No.
So Christopher Walken is one of my absolute favorites of all times. If you've ever seen Seven Psychopaths, he's amazing in that movie. And also, I love him in Pool Hall Junkies when he gives that lion speech. Have you heard that? Have you seen that?
No.
We should bring that up, the lion speech from Pool Hall Junkies. You will absolutely love it.
You're going to have to carry the show for a second.
All right, I'll carry the show. So Christopher Walken, his cadence, his spacing, his vocal patterns are very distinct. He does this thing where he puts the dramatic pauses in. He always sounds fantastic. It sounds like he's taking time to think before he says things, but really he isn't. And I think that's the big selling point for Christopher Walken. I'm shocked that we made it to the 4th episode of this show without talking about Christopher Walken, actually.
He's
a big part of my life.
He'll probably be brought
He's in the zeitgeist of things I think about at least 3 to 5 times a week.
Yeah. I think he's kind of on the forefront of everybody's mind. I mean, how could he not be?
I mean, even in Joe Dirt, your tone's all wrong.
Yeah, I'll stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
Did I say Kansas? Did I say New York? I meant Kansas.
All right, I've got this clip pulled up.
All right.
We'll have to...
This is from the movie Pool Hall Junkies.
Which I've never seen.
This is some motivation right here. Listen to this speech, man.
Oh, I don't think I'm playing it through to our our audience here. Let me switch our...
All right.
Let me switch my...
You got to get the full effect, because if you haven't heard this out there, you're welcome.
There we go.
There we go. It's about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes long. So he's walking into the...
Time well used.
He's walking into the bathroom.
Nature documentaries on the cable?
Yeah.
You see the one about lions?
Yeah.
Get this lion. He's the king of the jungle. Huge man out there. He's laying down under a tree in the middle of Africa. He's so big. He's so hot. He doesn't want to move. Now, the little lion cubs, they start messing with him. Biting his tail, biting his ears. He doesn't do anything. The lioness, she starts messing with him. Coming over, making trouble. Still, nothing. Now, the other animals, they notice this. And they start to move in. The jackals.
The hyenas.
They're barking at him, laughing at him. They nip his toes and eat the food that's in his domain. They do this, and they get closer and closer and bolder, till one day, That lion gets up and tears the shit out of everybody. Runs like the wind.
Yes.
Eats everything in his path. Because every once in a while, the lion has to show the jackals
who he is.
Who he is. It's too late to be scared. It's time to kill. I'm going to the other room. You come out when you're ready. Don't beat him. Kick his ass.
All right, you could probably cut it off right there, but that's a motivational speech right there.
That is. That kind of makes me want to play pool.
Yeah, it does.
And really, really whoop the shit out of somebody at it.
So, of course, you notice the cadence, the spacing, and his vocal pattern, but only Christopher Walken could have gotten away with telling that story in a movie, and it being one of the more, I think it's one of the more replayed motivational speeches out there, actually. So
yeah, I didn't know what movie it was from. I've heard it before.
Yeah.
I didn't know what movie it was from, but is there any role he plays where he's just not kind of epic?
No.
I mean, take Wedding Crashers.
Yes.
There are times when you're just like, oh man, I'm so glad he's not talking to me right now.
I know. It's so intense.
Yeah.
So intense.
Yeah.
Just like in Pulp Fiction. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
I had to carry this watch around in my ass. I mean,
more
something
cowbell.
that should more cowbell, classic SNL skit. Christopher Walken. We're probably going to talk a lot more about Christopher Walken from here on out. Some of his impressions, I've got a couple for you that we can go through because some of them are epic. Like he talks about it's Kevin somebody. It'll come to me. Kevin Pollak, thank you. Where he talks about Frankenstein never scared me. Marsupials do because they're fast. And it's one of my favorite little bits.
Well, and Kevin Pollak, I love his bits that he does.
Yeah.
But I don't think he has like the best overall impression.
No. I think Jay Moore, you mentioned it, and Kevin Spacey actually does a killer Christopher Walken too.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that do.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to do Walken? Walken's the best. He's an original. He's an OG original.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we'll have to play a few of those sometime and maybe do a Walken-esque podcast.
I'm walking here.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, where are we at time-wise?
We're at 32 minutes.
We should it's Thanksgiving. We should maybe get out of here, I feel
We probably should.
Go eat some turkey.
Amazing that,
good Lord, no frickin' green bean casserole.
I'll probably intake some of that.
So you'll eat what I don't for the green bean casserole. All right.
Yeah, I'll have your share.
That's fair for green beans all throughout the world. Because green beans grow up to do one thing, and that's be consumed, I feel like.
Well, and I love like green beans with some garlic and stuff like that.
If you do garlic, butter, and a little bit of bacon,
yeah.
My God. That's heaven right there. Yeah. I can make that can be just a meal in itself for me.
But see, that's kind of how I make mine is in that theme.
That same your green bean casserole?
Yeah.
See, maybe I would try it. Maybe I would like it. Maybe I've just eaten people who make dog shit green bean casserole.
Mine is not slimy. It's not,
And my mother's a phenomenal cook, but it's just I don't like her green bean casserole. It's probably one of the only things she makes that I don't eat. Huh. Sorry, Mom.
God,
once again.
You're a Thanksgiving snob. I hope you haven't ruined anybody's Thanksgiving and they're going, boy, maybe I don't like green bean casserole either.
Maybe I've just bought into the hype all these years.
Phil doesn't like it. Maybe I don't like it. Who knows?
Hey,
Thanksgiving's a big question for me now.
I'm a taste maker. You know that.
Well, yeah. I mean, it obviously, having a podcast of your own, you're a trendsetter now and in the limelight. I can say you're an influencer.
I'm a social voice now.
Yeah, you're an influencer.
Wow. Of all the things I ever thought I'd be, I'd never thought I'd be an influencer. I've been an under the influencer before.
Well, and I do want to point out that you're never going to be a fashion influencer, so it's probably fitting that you're a food influencer.
Because food, you can tell by looking at me, food is my wheelhouse, fashion is not.
Yeah.
Basically, anything that'll fit, I wear.
The only way that I can tie fashion in is I get food on the fashion that I wear.
Yeah, so sometimes food becomes part of my fashion. Same.
Yes.
Same.
So, well, I hope this has been a welcome retreat from whatever is happening to the Lions. If you happen to be listening at the point that they're playing, if the Lions haven't started playing, you may want to pause this and just hang on to it until about.
Spoiler alert: we tell you what happens with the Lions.
Yeah, probably for the rest of the season. We could record one Lions episode that just people
loop
replay.
it. Just loop the tape. Loop the tape.
If the Lions do happen to win, you fast forward to 25 minutes. And
if not, listen to the rest over and over again.
Yeah, it's kind of a choose your own
That's
adventure.
what they'll play in the waiting room to hell right there.
Yeah. I am sure. So, well, with that, I believe we're wrapping it up. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
All right.
And enjoy your turkey. Enjoy your green bean casserole. Should you choose to go against what Phil is working with there.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Make good choices. Thanks for listening to the P&A Podcast Express. Make good choices.